Ah, okay, okay, sorry.
Thursday night, and that can only mean one thing. You're glued to the screen watching STC, the Sim Racing Team Challenge, brought to you live by GameHosters.net, and of course courtesy of the race department who help us out with lots and lots of infrastructure. This is Eggert von Glan, your friendly voice, speaking to you from sunny and extremely dry Germany. Send us some rain wherever you are, we would appreciate it, especially the farmers around here. And this is me saying hello to Jose, my cameraman. Hi Jose.
Hi Eggert, hello everybody.
We have lots of rain, virtual rain in Sugo, don't we?
Yeah, it seems so. And, already received the proper complaints about it, but as I always say, it's not my fault.
No, it is not. It is definitely not. It's the weather system doing what it does, and it usually sends rain to Sugo in Japan, where we are today, but have forgotten to mention, of course, our race director, David Garcia, who may or may not be out in the safety car. Hello, David.
Hello, good night, guys.
So, how's the track then in warm-up?
Well, it's not wet, it's damp, but it's slippery, a bit slippery. I think we will have a clean start. The guys in the teams are doing a very good job, so I think everything will work fine at the start.
Brilliant. So let's talk a little about the track. Sugo, it's called. It's in Japan. Actually checked on it today. It's pretty close to where the triple catastrophe took place. It's only 19 kilometers from Sendai Airport. And those of you who followed the horrible events on television will definitely know where Sendai Airport is. It's up in the mountains, so at this point in real life it's probably not been flooded, but there may be some damage due to the terrible earthquake that went before the flooding. It was established in 1975. It's run by the Yamaha Motor Corporation, and it's a 3.7 kilometers long track with 11 turns. And what they're running here usually is the Super GT, the Japanese Touring Car Championship drift racing. They have also a huge kart track here. So David, if you're ever there, you can take your kart out at Sugo Kart Track.
Yeah.
And then they also have the super bikes here, so the motorbikes are also doing their stuff on this track. And as we mentioned, weather is pretty rainy here. We had heavy rain in the qualification, and qualification in half a second, the results. And now we have damp track in the warm-up, and it's going to be interesting to see what we'll have in the race proper. Little look at the standings now. There have been one or two incident reports and incident decisions being made during the week, so standings are a little different. But here's the overall results at this moment after 3 of the 10 races have been done. It's the Roaring Pipes Maniacs out in front at 187 points. It's Gameracer FlatOut Racing, their closest competitors in 2 with 182 points. Then we have a group of 3 fighting for the bronze medal. It's the Flying Dutchman Racing in 3 for 164. Gubbklubben from Sweden in 4 for 150. And the brother or sister team of the Flying Dutchman, the Flying Canadian Racing in 5, 143, and 1 win already to their credit. And we're already in race number 5, I just see, so sorry, it's not after 3 races, but after 4 races. On we go, position number 6, the Black Rebels, recovered a little. 116 points for them. They are in the next group of 3, fairly close together with Course Online, 106 points and 7. And then the new team from Greece, Waterblue Racing, in 8 for 80 points. And then we have the final 3 teams, pretty close to each other as well. So it's a Gameracer FlatOut Club junior team in 9 for 58 points. Torrent Motorsports and Blue Flag Racing basically tied for 10 or 11 at 43 points. But since Torrent have a 9th position as their best result, while my team, the Blue Flags, have 11 as their best result, we're down in the final position. And that's your roundup of the standings so far. David, if you're listening in, is this the title fight that you expected between the Roaring Pipes and the Gameracer FlatOut?
Yes, of course, especially after last season. It was a very close fight until the end, and I think both teams will try to get the blue cap again. So let's see who gets it.
Yeah, of the 3 following them, the Dutchman, the Canadian, and the Gubbklubben, who do you think has the best chance to, do the surprise win of the overall series? I mean, they're not too far behind, aren't they? All 3 of them. So is there any of these 3 teams where you say, yes, they might really pull it off?
Well, to me, the 3 teams you have mentioned are really good teams with a really impressive roster, driver roster. So I think any of the teams could fight for a podium place at the end, and even could fight for a season win if they put the correct drivers on the correct races. They play a good strategy after the 10 races. So in my opinion, these are very good teams that could even fight for the final win card.
Yep, same opinion here, and I'm always hoping for a surprise, and I'm always rooting for the outsiders. So if one of them could actually win, for example, the guys from Sweden, the Gubbklubben, who left a really solidly good impression last season, I'd be very, very glad indeed. So Maniacs and Gameracer FlatOuts, don't take that as an insult to your overall brilliant performance here, but we all love the outsiders. Right, we're waiting with the qualification results. Keeps you on edge a little until we join the cars on the grid. Gives me time to already point to the next race, which will be at Bahrain. So you can expect sunny weather there. Though I remember we once had rain there, really freaky little thingy, and everyone was completely surprised. But I suspect that traveling from Japan to Bahrain, we will see some more sunny weather. And we're about to go from the warm-up session to the race session, and I will give you a quick update then on what the in-game system says about the weather. And there we are, everybody's got 2 minutes to join the grid, and it says track damp, forecast rain. So that means we don't start in full rain, we start, as it says here, just on a damp track, but looking around the track there's already some grey clouds on the horizon, so I suspect, just as in last week's game at Trois-Rivières, we'll see some rain here after maybe 25, maybe 35 minutes, or maybe even earlier, and then see what happens to the strategies of the players.
It will be a hard decision, a tough decision to decide if you go on track with dry or wet tires, because the conditions can change very quick.
And indeed they can. And the first players are joining the grid now, just as we are about to join the grid as well. David will now say goodbye for the moment and get into our green safety car, and he will lead us through the first lap. Everybody will follow him, and then we'll have, as usual, a flying start. And I will also introduce you to the track a little while we go round with the players here on the first lap. And tensions are especially high this time for the first corner, because we saw an incident in the corner in first corner in the last game, and actually this was not an incident at all, but it was an incident for poor Jesper Talborg, who it seems missed his brake point by just a tiny little bit, and then went wide into the wall and then caused all kinds of trouble down the grid. And green flag is on any minute now, and David will put the safety car at the front of the grid, and then we will definitely follow him around the track. David is off, and I suppose so are we, and this is Rami Kaukola in pole position. He's done it again, the Roaring Pipes Maniacs quick fin. He leads the field into the first corner, which is aptly called first corner. In position number 2, we have a Gubbklubben player, Robin Johansson from Sweden, leading the field into, you guessed it, the second corner. Then Peter Duivelaar, second of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, just now approaching, don't mention it, the third corner. Tyler Scurlock in position number 4 for the Flying Canadian Racing, approaching now what is called fourth corner, but don't worry, this is the end of the just numbered corners. So this is fourth corner. Then we have Yuri Braham in the Flying Dutchman Racing car, approaching what is called the S-curve, and it definitely is an S-curve. Behind him, Bosse Johansson, second of the Gubbklubben cars, so they are out to get some massive points if they can stick to these positions. As is Flying Dutchman Racing, because we find their race engineer par excellence, Wesley Hartog, approaching High Point Corner, which indeed marks the highest point, almost the highest point on the track. They're now heading into Rainbow Corner, which is really ugly, downhill. Then we have Risto Kappet in position number 9 for Gameracer FlatOut Club, taking us out onto a very long straight. Behind him, Dariusz Wilgosz for Waterblue Racing in 9. In 10, second of the Flying Canadians, that is Reggie Blaine for you. Sorry, that's the first Torrent Motorsports player. Sorry guys, mixed you up there. Torrent Motorsports. In 11, Andreas Hultgreen, my co-commentator for the Black Rebels. In 12, Steve Beam for Waterblue Racing. I think I must hurry up now. We are in Horseback Corner. In 13, Chris Juck for the Black Rebels. In 14, Adam Shaw, second of the Gameracer FlatOut cars. In 15, Kelvin van der Linde, I really must hurry up. In 16, Ethan Bass for Torrance. In 17, Marco Giglio for Course Online. In 18, Michael Hart-Jones for Blue Flag. In 19, Mikael Larsson, also for Blue Flag. David Clark in 20 for Gameracer FlatOut Club. Stefano Legnani for Course Online in 21, and in 22, Ben Tusting for Gameracer FlatOut Club. And Jose, quickly take us to the field, through the field to position number 1 to Rami Kaukola. I can see that David has entered the pit lane, so the game is up, and here we go. It's Rami Kaukola heading down the start and finish straight into the turn number 1, and he has a comfortable lead here over the Gubbklubben player, over Robin Johansson, who is already under pressure here in the first corner, but everything's clean, everything's fine, at least for the first few positions. And you can see the players sliding around here because the track, well, it is damp, but that means it is already quite slippery indeed. And it's Johansson in 2, Kaukola sliding here through 3 and then into S-curve, out of S-curve. Curbs must be really awful in these conditions, and looking down the field I see that obviously everybody has had more or less a decent start here. There's nothing that I have seen on my screen, as for the first time they're out of rain corner and downhill they go, approaching horseback corner. Rami Kaukola in 1, followed by Robin Johansson in 2, followed by Peter Duivelaar for Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 3, and these 3 in turn followed by Tyler Scurlock. And then we have a little bit of a gap, and then it's over to the Flying Dutchman Racing guys and the rest of the field, as the players now are on their way out of the last turn, which is called 110R corner, and it also houses a chicane, but we don't use that track layout here at the STC. And Kaukola over the top of the hill and down to the bottom of the hill and into that first turn again, and there he is. The first lap is done, and from what I can see, it was an extremely clean start. Let's see if David is with us again out of the pace car and can comment on the start this time.
Hello, Eckhart. I am just entering the pit lane back. I am parking the car.
Okay, so we'll come back to you in half a second. And as we see, Rami Kaukola going off. He's going off just in front of Rainbow Corner, and Johansson slips past an extremely astute maneuver there. Kaukola had a bit of a problem with the slippery curves, went wide just a little onto the grass. Johansson slipped past and is now in 1. Kaukola trying to attack him just in front of Horseback Corner, but he can't get past. It's a very, very close, very tight racing here. Robin Johansson stays in front, so the Gubbklubben, for the first time this season, lead the field in the yellow and blue Swedish racer. And I hope not all the Swedes are watching hockey tonight, and it's TC time, folks. It's a Thursday night, and Robin Johansson from Sweden leads the pack up the hill onto the start and finish, and they go under the big Dunlop tire, and out they go, and it's already yes, he has managed to pull away a little from Rami Kaukola. That comes as a bit of a surprise here, and Robin Johansson, he is an extremely fast player, and it looks as if rain and track seems to be just what he needs. Well, David, I'm afraid you missed that one. Well, tell us about the start then, as they go into the S corner again. It looked as, at least from here, extremely clean start.
Yeah, it was an example of a start. It was very, very clean. And I have to congratulate all the drivers in the grid, because they did excellent.
Yep, I think everybody was a bit cautious after the little pile-up we had behind turn 1 in the last game, and that caused huge damage to both Black Rebels, for example.
Yeah.
And so there's been lots of discussion, of course, on the forum, and so we're back to safety mode here, and we see Kaukola really sling to keep the pace, and it's Duivelaar who has caught up with him now. Duivelaar, that's the car with the white roof, and Kaukola, that's the car with the black roof. Better keep that in mind, folks, as Johansson gets out of the 110R, turn the last one on the track, and again under the Dunlop tire, and then across the start and finish line. Jose, did you see that overtaking maneuver there?
Yes, of course.
Oh, and now Johansson is off. Sorry to interrupt you. Johansson is off, but he can recover very, very quickly indeed. Is it just the damp track, Jose, that sends the players off the track?
Yeah, I suppose so. It's not totally rain, not totally dry. I think they have problems to really understand how hard they can push. So that's why they are making some mistakes. But it's normal, I think, in these track conditions.
Yes, what tires do you bet players are on? Is it softs or hards?
Well, I suppose they should be using soft, as rain is expected, and then you don't know when you will have to change tires, and softs have more grip, so I suppose most of people is with softs.
Yep, so do I. And since I already have you on the line, why don't we do our famous first rundown, because Johansson in front has pulled away a little, and seems to be safely in position number 1 here, so we can have a look at all the other positions, see what happened in the first 3 laps.
Yes, of course. I think it's a good moment to...
Well, off we go then. Robin Johansson, position number 1 for the Gubbklubben. Well done, mate. In 2, Rami Kaukola, as we see him here again twitching out of the turn. It seems to be especially difficult to put the power down as you get out of the turn. And mind you, I've played that mod as well, and it is difficult in normal terms, and under damp it seems to be rather difficult indeed. He's followed by Peter Duivelaar in 3, his teammate for Roaring Pipes Maniacs, white roof for Peter. Then in 4, Tyler Scurlock, young chap playing for Flying Canadian Racing. He showed us some extremely good racing in the last match that was at Trois-Rivières, and let's hope he can do the same again today. Yuri Braham for the Flying Dutchman Racing, where he started the race, and that is safe. Then in 6, Bosse Johansson, not Johansson, but Johansson. I will definitely mix that up in the course of the day. For the Gubbklubben, defending against Risto Kappet in 7. He has already gained 1 position on Wesley Hartog, and he looks about to eat player number 2 on his menu tonight, and that would be Johansson of the Gubbklubben. Then in 8, Kelvin van der Linde. That is a new name for me on the grid here. He is supporting, or he is running for Flying Canadian Racing, and we found him on the grid in 15, so he has in fact won 7 positions already, which is quite superb. He is followed by Adam Shaw, another guy who made great strides. He was in 14, we now find him in position number 9. And then we head towards number 10, and there we find Wesley Hartog, race engineer for the Flying Dutchman and Flying Canadian Racing. So he is the guy responsible for doing the test laps, for doing all the setups and stuff, and thinking about the strategy that they'll use. And we find him in 10, down 3 places from 7. In 11, Ben Tussell. That does indeed come as a huge surprise, because he was in 22 in the lineup. Must have been something going on there in the field. He is up 11 positions in position number 11. Very well done indeed for Ben Tusting. He's followed by Dariusz Wilgosz, who is just now out onto the gravel, and he's overtaken position number 12 swaps owners. It's now Reggie Blaine of the Torrent Motorsports, who started in 10 and is back up in 12 after having dropped to 13. Which means that Wilgosz, with a hugely dented Doran, he must have got a severe hit somewhere along the line, is down in 13, followed by 14, Steve Bean, second of the Waterblue Racing players, who may overtake his teammate now as they head towards corner number 1, but he doesn't. Then in 15, my co-commentator extraordinaire and your host for the session at Daytona, where I was on the grid, Andreas Hultgreen, another Swede, and I can just see in the background my teammate, I think Mikael Larsson, I'm not quite sure, going off the track, but right now we are with position number 16. Chris Jacques, both of the Black Rebels players are close to each other. He was involved in that turn 1 incident as one of the unlucky chaps who got caught by the chap spinning out. Then in 17, Stefano Legnani from Italy for Course Online, honoring the 150th anniversary of Italy this year, as does Ferrari with a tricolore on the rear wing. Very fashionable, that one. Then in 18, David Clark, another FlatOut Club player who has advanced. He was in 20 on the grid. And now we see one of the Black Rebels very slow, and we say David Clark going off, and we actually see another player going off in the background, so it really seems to be difficult just to stick to the grey stuff here. That means in 18 we meet again Andreas Hultgreen. And in 19, we now see who it was who went off. Yes, it was Mikael Larsson. So he's not quite up to the speed he had last time. Last season he was 5th at the end of the race here at Sugo, it will be very difficult indeed for Michael to retain that position in this year. We're over to 20. It's Marco Giglio. I have no idea, young man, how to pronounce that name. Giglio, José, do you have any idea how to pronounce Giglio?
I think it's Giglio.
Giglio, oh, I'm happy about that because that's something I can muster. So Giglio, yes, Marco Giglio from Italy for Course Online in 20. Then in 21, my second teammate, Michael Hart-Jones, in the orange version of the blue flag car tonight. And in 22, Ethan Bass for Torrent Motorsports, who started in 16, is down to 22. He must have had a huge off moment, though I must say his Doran looks spick and span all round, so wonder what happened to him. And that's the first of the roundups here, as we have probably got already some 10 or so laps under our belt. And let's go check out the front, what happens there. And there we are, Ron Johansson in position number 1. Still followed hotly and closely by Rami Kaukola. In fact, Rami has caught up just a little as we took 2 or 3 laps to go through the grid. And if you look at the lines those players are able to do under these conditions on that track with that car, and then compare it to the lines we've seen further down the grid, and guys, you don't really want to see my lines, then I must say this is superb sim racing that we see here. Under these adverse conditions, look at those lines. They are really, really, really clean. It's really an incident if one of these guys actually goes off. They hug the white lines wherever possible, and approaching the turns, braking in, then cruising out of the turns again, trying to put down the throttle as early as possible, trying to find a good line here. See Johansson going just a little bit too much across the curbs, but it pays off. He actually gained a little on that, and now he's to High Point Corner and then into Rainbow Corner and out on the long straight, which is the longest straight on the track here. Actually, it's a 700-meter long straight. That is long, 700 meters. And during the last lap, I've tried to have a little look at the clouds around the circuit, and it still shows the same kind of middle grey, not too dark grey, that we've seen at the start. So it looks as if we're not into a very rainy bit of the race, but it's just damp for the time being. And it looks as if it's will stay damp at least for the next 10 or 20 minutes. Johansson a little bit on the grass. He's liable to go off just a little between first corner and second corner, but it doesn't really slow him down at all. At this point, in fact, he has gained just a little again on Rami Kaukola. And David, do you have access to the live timing at this point?
Well, I can check some timing, yes.
Yeah, I'd be surprised about the lap times that we see here. At this point in the race, we might then want to compare them to the lap times, maybe with fresh tires later on.
Yes, well, they are more or less the same. As an example, Robin Johansson set a fastest lap of 1:24.0 in the lap number 4, and now he's on 1:24 high, 24.6, 24.8.
Okay.
And the same goes with Rami as an example. He made a 24.2 as fastest lap. Now he is on 24 high, 25.
Okay, and I can see on my screen a bit more rain coming down now here in Sugo. Just said it's not going to happen, but there you are. So much about my eyes. And it may get a little more wet now. And I can see these three there in front still doing their stuff. If you were the RPM team manager, would you tell Peter Duivelaar to have a shot at Robin Johansson? Because it looks as if Rami, at least at this point in the race, is not able to do anything attack-wise.
Yes, well, this is a kind of endurance season. Not endurance race, but an endurance season. So ending the race in P2, P3 would be very, very important. Of course, if you have a chance to win the race, you have to do it and set an aggressive strategy. But ending the race P2, P3 is an outstanding result for RPM.
Yep, especially with the Gameracer FlatOut down somewhere in, I think, 5 and 8 or something we saw. So that would really be a huge points advantage for Roaring Pipes Maniacs. And so far, everything has been extremely clean, and so no need to fear any incident result here. I can see that Robin Johansson has put on the wiper on his windscreen, so they obviously also feel and see that the rain has intensified here.
Yes, it is.
And if I see that correctly, so we're moving down the grid a long way, because we have two Swedes, two veterans of this series who have been with us for years and years and years, season after season after season. It's young Andreas Hultgreen for the Black Rebels in position number 18, and followed by Mikael Larsson for the Blue Flag Racing in the blue and black car, number 9 here. And for quite some time now, Larsson has been trying to find a way past Hultgreen. And if you look at their grid positions, Hultgreen was up in 11 while Larsson was down in 19. Larsson must be happy to be still in 19. Well, not so happy about obviously, but Hultgreen must be sad to be down from 11 to 18. And it looks as though he has serious trouble here at the Sugo. They're now out of High Point Corner, and there Hultgreen has some trouble again, so that brings Larsson into the game. And if he finds a good exit now, approaching Horseback Corner, he might try to get out of the stream and then make a move on him at the bottom here. Let's see, there they go. Approaching Horseback Corner, nope, indeed, but Hultgreen taking a very different line to Larsson. Judging from this one lap we've seen, I suppose that Mikael Larsson, or Mikke as we call him on the forum, is past here any minute now. Oh,
by the way,
now as Hultgreen has trouble in 110R and slows down after doing the first apex of the two. And that must have been a very light touch, because we see no damage at all to Mikael Larsson's front there, and Andreas was easily able to catch Doran. But I think it was just also a little reminder by Mikael saying, "Hey Andreas, this is me, I'm trying to get past. We may be from the same country, but that's about where the friendship ends."
By the way, Eckhart, I was about to tell you, a couple of days ago I had the chance to see Tron Legacy, the movie, and it really reminded me about the Blue Flag Racing cars.
Yep, we had Konrad Stanchak on our forum came up with the design, and at once everybody was shouting and saying, yes, yes, do it Konrad, do it, please, please be our Skinner for this season, because usually, you know, it's Krista Larsson
Yeah.
Just the skins, and he was very gentlemanly about it, saying, "Yes, I love that skin, so go ahead, please do it." And it's a real beauty. I really like it. I still have problems deciding which one I like more. I think I'll go for the blue one at Bahrain next race.
Yeah. Both are quite cool. It's a very interesting design.
Yeah. Speaking of black cars, yours are very nice too. The Black Rebels. One black, one yellow. I really like that idea. And do you have your pin-up girl again somewhere on the car?
Not really. We have a school, which is quite different. But I think the pin-up will be back next season. You know, this season started in winter, so the pin-up is not really clothes. So
okay, yes, very, very considerate of you. And now both of them have passed one of the Gameracer FlatOut Club players who went wide between first corner and second corner. And I just said that Mikael Larsson will be passed any moment, but after that little shove, it seems he has lost his rhythm somehow, and he really has difficulty now trying to keep Andreassen's pace here.
okay, guys, I don't know what's going wrong with David Clark, but it looks like he's retiring for the race. He's in the grass for a long time now. Don't know.
That sounds like computer problems.
Possibly, or now he did rejoin the tarmac.
Yeah, might also be, if you're in the grass for a long time, at least if it's me, I have some controller problems, so maybe there's something wrong with the pedals or something wrong with the wheel, something on those lines, or it's just that stupid telephone ringing in the back. And we're in P14 with Steve Bean, is what Jose tells me, and we see the poor chap going off here for Waterloo Racing. He misjudged his speed, coming out of first corner, going into second corner, and that gives Stefano Legnani of Course Online the chance to slip past and go into position 14. And Steve Bean is now followed by his teammate, by Dariusz Wielgosz. So we have both Waterblue players here in position number 15 and 16, and Wielgosz, he must really obviously fight with his Doran, because that car is so hugely dented and it's all over the place. And cameraman says it's P9, P10, P8 where the action is. In P9 we find Ben Tusting, who, as I said earlier, advanced from position number 22, and he's already up now to position number 9. He must have those magic tires on, and rain actually has stopped again here at Sugo. In fact, sun's coming out a little, so track should be drying up fairly now. We also have blue sky. I think the first time the whole session that we have a really nice bit of blue sky here over Japan. And Ben Tusting is followed by Adam Shaw, who is now in 10, and in the grid we saw him in where do I find him? There you are, 14. So he has also advanced, and in front of position number 9 it's Kelvin van der Linde in 8. So these three are really close together. Yes, David.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. David Clark went on pit, so possibly it was like an engine failure or gearing failure. Yep. I don't know what was going on, but he did pit to repair it.
Okay, so he's out of the pits again, obviously, and back in the race, so we don't lose a player at this early stage. And now we see an attack here by Ben Tusting, going very, very close indeed, up to Kelvin van der Linde, and he may be liable, and Van der Linde is out on the grass. Van der Linde is out on the grass, and they go into Rainbow Corner. Tusting touches him in the rear there a little, but it was basically Kelvin recovering, trying to get back on the track, and Tusting is past. Even before the long straight, Tusting moves past, and he's now in position number 8. He is definitely, at this point, the man of the game. And with the track drying, it looks as if players actually have more problems than with the wet track before. Or is this already, David, the tires giving up?
Well, maybe the tires are giving up, or maybe some of the guys went on track with wet tires. We can't know.
Yeah, possible. Quite possible. Though with damp track, I think it would be fairly unusual to do that. And so we have about half an hour of the game done, and that means we see the first people in pit. I just heard the sound of the pit lane. David, who is in the pits at this moment?
It's Kelvin van der Linde.
There we have him. There we have him. So that might really have been the tires that were already shot here. So he's definitely on a 2-stopper.
Exactly.
And back up front, it's still the 3. It's still Robin Johansson, followed by Rami Kaukola, and you can see here that Rami is gaining in speed as the race progresses, and also there's quite a few lappings being done already. And now they go into the pit, just as we watched them, and both of them go into the pit. Now that's going to be so interesting to see who comes out first. So let's stay with them in the pits. Scurlock goes into the pits as well, and we see Duivelaar staying out for another lap or 2. And they even have the pits next to each other, so that's really, really neat. Robin Johansson in the pits.
Also Tyler Scurlock.
Yeah, still in the next pit behind them, so we can actually follow all 3 pit stops. And again, pity that we don't have animated pit crews in race 07. And watch this, they go out at exactly the same time. That's amazing, and Tyler stays in just a little longer, so they are obviously on exactly the same strategy.
Let's see how it works for Peter Eckert, because I really don't think it was a good decision to stay one more lap at track.
Well, pit was taken. Oh no, in this version that we play, pits are not taken. You can actually both pit at the same time, can't you?
Exactly, you can pit same time your teammate. We have Adam Shaw from FlatOut Racing at pit as well.
Duivelaar is still on the track, and he's the lone wolf up there now, leading the race, and he's into the pits now. So let's see, and if he put in a superb lap, he might actually gain a little and come out just in front of Robin Johansson. So I suppose we should watch Johansson on the track and then see where Duivelaar recovers.
Yuri Braham, who was in P2, is at pit as well.
And Risto Kappet in 3 goes in as well. That puts Ben Tusting in position number 1, believe it or not.
And he stays on track.
Here is Robin Johansson going down. Steve Bean is out of the game. And Robin Johansson going down the start and finish straight. As we see Michael Hart-Jones going off in spectacular fashion in corner number 1. And Johansson stays out in position number 1, basically.
No. He has been overtaken by Rami. And Peter Duivelaar is...
that is Johansson. That is Johansson. You're mixing up the Gubbklubben. That is Johansson, a lap down. It's Robin Johansson in 2. He's following Ben Tusting, and believe it or not, the guy is up in front, coming from position number 22. And he's actually slowing down Johansson now, big time, and he's fighting for position, so he can do whatever he wants. He cannot do whatever he wants, but he's liable to fight for position, even though he's on very, very old tires here. Johansson tries to squeeze past in horseback corner. That is very close indeed, but superb. Absolutely marvelous. Well done. Great maneuver here by Robin. That puts Tusting in 2, and he has Rami Kaukola about to eat him, and Rami now has to really get past as quickly as he possibly can. so he doesn't get caught, for example, by the... a small touch here. Tusting is out on the grass, and now his entry is blocked. He can't go into the pits. Even if he had wanted to, it was Rami blocking him, of course not on purpose, but that's just where he was, blocking his entrance to the pits. So Tusting stays out another lap, but it's still, we're back to the old 1, 2, 3. Robin Johansson up front, followed by Rami Kaukola for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, followed at this point by Ben Tusting, but he is obviously struggling hugely now, and it's Duivelaar, who is setting his sights, and he's touched Tusting a little bit now as they approach High Point Corner, and he's passed. Easily done. Very well done by Duivelaar. He had a nice speed out of that chicane there, out of S-curve, and then in High Point Corner he just went past. We see a Course Online player gentlemanly making way here, and we see the sky getting grey again, and the rain has in fact set in again.
Yeah, I think we have been 3 or 4 times at Sugo with STC, and I think all the times it has been raining.
Yep, and it's never comfortable. Sugo is not a comfortable track in good weather, and it is a really difficult track in bad weather, even more so. Ben Tusting is not pitting in this lap. He is then, I would say, on a one-stop strategy, and I'm really curious to see if that pays off, because look at the way the top 3 are moving away here. They are much faster at this point, but then again, a pit stop is about 30 to 40 seconds, and if you can save one, that is a lot of laps, 1 or 2 seconds slower than the fast guys.
Guys, we have Bosse Johansson at pit, and Stefano Legniani is already pitting out in position 17.
Alright, so basically these guys are all on a 2-pitter, and the guys who stay out, I suppose, at this point are probably on a 1-pitter, because it's getting a little late to go in for your first pit if you're on a 2-pitter.
It is getting a little bit late, Eckhart, but if it starts raining, while I see Marco Giglio at pit as well, if it starts raining right now or in a little while, the guys on a one-stopper will be on a clear advantage, getting the wet tires on the correct timing.
Yep. But then again, if it's just a little bit rain on and off, we've seen that at Trois Rivières. A player said afterwards in an interview that it really didn't matter much. They could still stay out on either the soft or the hards. They didn't have to choose wets. And now it's Tyler Scurlock all over the back of Ben Tusting as they go down the start and finish straight. Scurlock moves out to get into a good fighting position, but he has to draw back. And Tusting, can he? Ooh, that was really well done by Ben Tusting. I saw him going off into the grass there between corner number 1 and corner number 2, but he managed to just catch it. And now Scurlock has to evade him here, as Tusting is clearly much slower. They're now approaching the S-curve. Scurlock hits him once, twice.
Really close.
It is very close indeed. And they're up on their way to High Point Corner. And this is where the tires really, the short tires really give you the most problems, I would say, is this one here. It's a rainbow corner because it's slanted to the outside. It's got negative camber, and then it is also quite sharp, and you really have to get a good exit for that long straight following. Tusting defending for all it's worth, and Scurlock trying to squeeze past on the inside. And can he make it stick is the big... Yes, he can. Yes, he can indeed. And Tusting, seeing that this is no place to fight, just draws back a little. Otherwise, he might have actually had a little chance to retaliate, because Scurlock's having some serious problems there with the next turn. And on the screen we saw Stefano Legnani out of the race. Sorry to say that, so one of the Course Online players already had to leave. And now Tusting goes into the pits. Now he goes into the pits, so it's either a rather late two-stopper, or it's a rather early one-stopper. And we also see Michael Hart-Jones with a completely beat-up blue flag car there, crashing in the pit lane entrance, but now he has found the right spot and he is into the pits for his pit stop.
Yeah, let's see if he can really repair the car. No, he's retiring.
Yep. He's out of the race. That car looks awful indeed, and don't know what we pay in our team. I must look that up in the regulations somewhere.
And guys, I don't know if it looks the same for you, but to me it looks like if Rami is losing a bit of the speed, because Peter is getting very close and he's losing a bit of the gap with Robin.
Okay, and we're in P7 and 8 where we see Kelvin van der Linde, and yes, it might indeed be that Rami is, again, he was a bit slower with the tires in lap number 3 to 7 or so the last time round. Don't know about you, but I feel when I play Race 07 that the tires have this period, I would say it's usually lap 5, 6, 7, where they are really off for 2 or 3 laps, and then they kind of come back after lap 7 or 8, and you really have quite good grip afterwards, so he might be feeling these problems.
Yes, Peter overtook Rami right now.
And Kelvin van der Linde here has huge problems keeping his flying Canadian Doran on the track, and he obviously feels the pressure that not Risto Kappet but Adam Shaw is putting on him now. As we see one of the Torrent guys going into the pits there, and Risto Kappet in a position to attack. He's out? No, he's not in a position to attack. Very wisely he stays back, but it's getting very close now in corner number 1, and we see that van der Linde does indeed lag a little, so the car is a bit jumpy. So Adam Shaw is definitely doing wisely here to stay just a little bit away from that car, because you just might hit it in a place where you don't think it is.
Guys, we have Ethan Bass at pit lane. I think the pit window is open for the guys on one stopper.
Okie dokie. And well, Lim stays in front. He manages to fight Adam Shaw off, even though he has some serious problems, especially going into the turns where he's liable to run just a little wide. And Shaw getting closer there, but apparently Adam is at this point not in a position to make a move.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that Rami is really not comfortable with the tires. The car is moving a lot.
Yep, just having watched him for 2 turns, I can see what you mean, because look at Johansson. He's easily pulling up that gap there. Already, I would say, some 5 to 7 seconds. And Rami's car is very, very unstable in certain parts of the track. Not in all of the parts, but in certain parts of the track. And so one of the things that can happen, of course, in the heat of the moment is that you pick the wrong tires at the pit.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Don't think though that Rami is one to do that.
Or you can even risk taking a different compound, waiting for conditions change, the weather conditions.
Yep, possibly. And that was nice. Now I just saw that the moment Rami enters first corner, Robin Johansson was out of second corner, so that gives you a measure of how far apart these two are. And what I find surprising is that even if Rami is in trouble, that Duivelaar seems to have the same kind of trouble, because he is not able to catch up with Rami.
Yeah.
Or putting it another way, Robin is just a bit out of this world tonight.
Yeah, I received a note from the RPM team.
Yes.
And they say that Rami didn't really expect rain or quite wet track. He was probably expecting a damp race, and that's why.
Okay.
I see a car going out now.
Yes, it was one of the Gameracer FlatOut Club players. I hope it wasn't Tusting, who had such a brilliant race so far. That's nothing against David Clark, though. If it was you, David, sorry to say that. But it would really be sad to see Tusting's race spoiled by an off moment. Well, that might explain, coming back to what you just said, Jose, that if he has the wrong setup, even with the correct tires, if the setup is wrong, that might account, at the level these guys are playing, that might account for the, I don't know what, 0.1 or 0.2 that he drops on Robin Johansson every lap.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose it also affects to how he practiced for the race.
Yep.
Guys, we have Chris Jack from the Black Rebels at pit, exactly in the middle of the race. So he's clearly one stopper.
Yep.
And he's pitting out position 12.
Position 5. That's brilliant. So the one
12.
stopper at this. Oh, sorry, 12. Well,
12,
5 would have been
yeah.
awesome. But 12 is still very, very good indeed. I mean, 12 means that after the second round of pit stops, you are liable to be in the top 10 if you can manage to keep the car in one piece.
Exactly.
So that's very, very good indeed. So I've just jumped up and down the grid a little, and I must tell you that for the first time this season, basically everybody's playing their own game. There's only one pair. In position 8, Kelvin van der Linde, who was earlier seen defending against Adam Shaw, and in position number 7, Adam himself, the man, and he seems to have gotten past Kelvin while we were watching the top 3. And so these are the closest contestants here on the grid. Everybody else is something like 300, 200 meters away from his closest rival, and that is very, very unusual indeed for the STC. So let's see if Kelvin can actually catch up with Adam again. Still, Kelvin's ride is way more unstable than Adam's is, and especially approaching the turns, and then in what I would call the first third of the turn, his Doran is all over the place, and also going out of the turns. There's some interesting driving, but still he can keep up the pace, more or less, with Adam Shaw, and if Shaw would like to pull away easily, that is not on the cards today. Kelvin is trying to stick at least within viewing distance, though he's in no way within fighting distance. Yep, cameraman tells me we should have a rundown from here to give some airtime, and also to check out how many players are actually still in the game, because I'm afraid that the difficult conditions here at Sugo have already cost 2 or 3 players their participation, and they're out of the race. So let's check on that too. While we're still with Adam Shaw, let me give you just a vocal update on the top 6, and then we follow the camera down from 7 to 8 to 9 and so on. So, still with Adam Shaw, but in position number 1. Yes, David?
Little interruption. We have Darius Wilgus out of the race at pit from Waterloo.
That's
racing.
too sad. That's too sad because Waterloo Racing, just like Blue Flag Racing, really depend on both players seeing the finish and getting some points. Well, where was I? Oh yes, giving you an update on positions 1 to 6. Johansson in 1, Duivelaar now in 2. As we were suspecting earlier, Duivelaar now seems to be the one who needs to try and catch Robin Johansson, and Rami Kaukola down in 3. Tyler Scurlock still going strong in 4. Yuri Braham, sorry mate, haven't given you the airtime you deserve, in 5. And Risto Kappet for Gameracer FlatOut in 6. Well, there we are then with 7, Adam Shaw. And he is actually now moving away bit by bit by bit from Kelvin van der Linde, who is racing here tonight for Flying Canadian Racing. It is a new team, however, since they're together with Flying Dutchman Racing, they're only, let's say, half new. They share the same race engineer, they share the same set of information, the same set of preparation for the games, but of course points count for separate teams. And with Jesper Taulborg and Tyler Scurlock so far showing some impressive results, we find their team in an equally impressive 5th position after round number, what was it, 4, and we're in round number 5 now. So with Kelvin in 8 and Tyler in 4, again they're going to have a huge amount of points as they head away from Sugo and into sunny Bahrain. And in position number 9, the second of the Gubbklubben players, Bosse Johansson. Which means for Gubbklubben that they have both players at this point in the top 10, which again is a perfect result. And let's not forget, they're in 4 and they're still within striking distance of the top 2 teams. Johansson now here, you just saw him pass the chicane that is not used in the track layout that we use. I mean, putting a chicane on the apex of a 110-degree turn, that is really, really nasty. I don't know if there's a mod out there where you can actually play the chicane, but it must be quite dreadful. Anyway, position number 10. Ben Tusting, we saw him earlier leading the race, and he is one of the guys apparently on a one-stopper, though it may mean a rather longish stint for him now in the second stint, and he may be liable to fight a lot with tires being worn off in the last 10 or 20 minutes, but at this point it certainly pays off because he's in 10 after starting from 22, so he is definitely the highest climber on the grid at the moment. Up now into High Point Corner and then into Rainbow Corner, trying to take out as much speed as he can. Very soft approach here by Ben, really playing it very carefully, because you can easily lose the rear of the door into that corner, and then down that very, very long straight, which has a slight kink as you approach Horseback Corner. That makes finding a breakpoint actually easier, at least for me, because that kink kind of tells you time to slow down. Moving to position number 11, someone we haven't had on the screen very much tonight, Wesley Hartog of the Flying Dutchman Racing, with a Doran that I would say in pristine condition. So he must have kept out of all the fights that have been going on, especially in the first 5 laps. And also it looks as if this car has never seen any of the barriers here, has never been in contact with any of them. Oh no, there's a slight dent on the right hand side, so yes indeed he must have had some contact somewhere. Well, people in the chat tell us to go back to P1, and since we're always obliging, of course, the customer,
well,
say,
people in chat is telling as well that we should put the Jobs music for Robin Johansson. You know, the no.
Yes. Oh dear. Not a nice idea at all. People in chat, behave. People in chat, behave. That was a really bad idea.
Ross Balfour idea, I think.
Okay, we will go back to that rundown a little later, because they are really close in P1, P2, people tell me. And it looks as if someone at RPM Central has told Peter Duivelaar, well, Peter, Rami steps aside a little, you go ahead and try to catch Robin Johansson. And even though this is an endurance championship, as David pointed out earlier, where the series is quite long and every single point counts, Peter Duivelaar is definitely going full out here to catch the race win for Roaring Pipes Maniacs. He is very, very close indeed, and they're running up to the remaining course online player on the grid here. That must be Marco Giulio, and he moves out of the way very well indeed. And now Duivelaar maybe stands a chance because he is close indeed, and it's so important to get a good exit speed here.
I love
no way.
The camera on the rear wing of the Robin Johansson's car. It's amazing.
Yes, I on my screen I do always have the TV camera because it gives you the best overall view. But I suppose Jose is catching these moments in high definition for you as well. And we see Duivelaar trying to line up Robin Johansson for an attack somewhere in this, the next, or the following lap, I suppose. They're out of the 110R turn now. And he may just be in the slipstream, but it's not going to be close enough for an attack at the end here in corner number 1. Definitely not. He stays behind, so I suppose if there's an attack, it will be as they approach High Point corner. That's my bet.
Maybe this is the time for the Jobs music, I got.
Yes, maybe. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make a fool of myself. Very close indeed now. Duivelaar both into the S, both onto the curbs. And now Duivelaar lacks that little bit of speed that he would have needed to attack before High Point corner. But now he's trying to get serious good exit speed out onto the long straight. And he is close indeed. Closer than he was last lap. Yes, he is. He's definitely in the slipstream now. They're approaching Horseback corner. He's out, and he realizes, nope, no way, I'm not going to make it. And he is definitely taking his time here. He's not pushing the envelope. He's not being too pushy either. And in the background, I can hear somebody going into the pits. So it might actually be that this is the end of the beginning of the pit window for the 2 stoppers for the second stop.
I'm checking it, Agat. I will tell you. It's Reggie
Thank you very much.
Reggie Blame. And we have another car. I think it is Ethan Bice.
All right. So Reggie and Ethan are both in the pits, and Peter is still following Robin here very closely indeed. And it looks as if the Roaring Pipes Maniacs have again set up their car not so much for high speed, but rather more for corner speed, because look at how far away he was on the straights, and look at how close they are together here in the tight turns. Now up to High Point corner. Nothing doing there. Out of High Point into Rainbow. Nothing doing there either. And you can really see how Duivelaar tries to get a good run out of the corner. He definitely tries to set up a move there, but Robin Johansson is just easily faster on the straight.
Yeah.
And he's breaking into the Horseback corner there with, for all it's worth, very nearly having Duivelaar in his back there, because Duivelaar moving again very close to him there as they approach the apex, but stays just shy of him.
I think
Guys,
this fight for
we have
P1.
sorry, David. We have
Yes.
a note from Dan Ashbury telling us that they had to enter the pit to change tires because their cars were with rain tires.
Wet. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dan, for that information. Oh, and Duivelaar now in corner number 1. Nearly going into Robin Johansson's rear wing there, but he is just managing to stay behind. But one of these days, and now showing himself. That is definitely just to make Robin nervous. There's no way he could get past there. But he definitely wants to show, listen, I'm here. And they touch again in S. Duivelaar touching him again. Second time, now into high point. Out of high point, into rainbow, and now he may just for the first time get the exit that he wants. Be as close as he wants. No, he is a bit off there. Car a bit twitchy as he exits the turn, gets onto the curbs, and again, he cannot make it.
They are really on the limit, Eckhart, and I think Robin's setup is, as you said before, a bit more set up for the short straights on Sugo, and this is a little advantage to fight back Peter. Oh, and there it is.
Wow, what happens now? Where did he do that?
Whoa.
And how did he do that? I didn't see that at all. All of a sudden he is right next to Robin. There was nothing showing in Robin's line that he had a problem or anything. But all of a sudden, Peter Duivelaar approaches Robin Johansson's Gubbklubben racer, as they are in these 2 turns between Horseback Corner and 110R, and he manages to pull off. That was an amazing pass.
We have
yes,
Rami at pit.
Okay.
This could be a very interesting strategy from Rami because he will be on newer tires for some laps, so maybe he can recover the distance in those laps.
Yeah, could be. Could definitely be. And we see Duivelaar, he can pull away. We can now see him finally play to his strength in these turns here. Look how much better that car is set up for the turns. And then as they go out now, let's see if Robin Johansson can actually catch the slipstream, and maybe... No, he's way too far away for that.
Guys, we have both Flying Dutchman Racing cars, Wesley Hartog.
And the other one is
Yuri Braham.
Yuri Braham.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a superb fight here for position number 1 and 2. And it's only a lap that Peter Duivelaar moved into the top spot, and already this is what I would call 100 meters of distance. And now he's out on the grass. He misjudged his exit speed, and he's into the pits.
Whoa!
And so is Johansson. That was a wild maneuver there by Peter Duivelaar, and so is Johansson. Let's see what happens. Let's stay with those.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid that doesn't look too nice.
While Rami is reaching the final part of the lap, but he got a bit of traffic with a lap car.
Oh dear.
Let's see how it works for him.
And both Flying Canadians in the pit as well.
Risto Kappet is pitting in. Tyler
And Robin is out
Scurlock
first. Look at that. Peter loses the front position. Peter loses the top position in the pits.
And Rami is on
Robin
the main
is out.
straight.
Rami is approaching, but Peter now has the shorter line as
I
the
think
pit entrance.
Rami
I think
will
Rami will
overtake
get
Peter.
past. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Looks like it. No.
Oh, very close.
Very close indeed. But whatever happened to Robin Johansson? He is way away, and Peter Duivelaar must be so mad. I mean, he's just gotten past. He could stay in the top position for all of 2 laps, and now he's back in position number 2. And let's see what he can do with fresh tires. But let's not forget, Robin Johansson is on fresh tires as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe Robin was racing with more fuel.
It looks it.
Yeah.
It looks it.
There has to be a reason.
But you have to be really extremely good to be racing on that track in wet conditions with a lot of fuel.
Yeah, but these guys are...
Maybe that was
they
the
are
reason.
hardcore.
The reason why Peter was catching him.
Yep.
A bit, lap after lap.
Yes, it would also explain the better feel for the car he obviously had in the slower turns, because if you're racing with less fuel, then obviously your car will feel much better in the turns.
And the gap is now quite big.
I will
yes,
tell
indeed.
you.
It's
The
back
gap
to where they
is-
were, because we just saw... Yes, go ahead, David.
Yeah, 4 seconds and a half from Robin to Peter, and 6 seconds and a half more or less from Robin to Rami.
Yep, it's really back to where it was, because I just saw that as Robin was leaving second corner, Peter was going into first corner, so they have like the 2 first corners and the little stretch between. That's what they have between them, so that is a sizable gap.
So guys, while I lay here on the paddock with all the pit babes, I have to tell you that the meteo man is telling that there will be a big storm in the final laps. I don't know if should we trust him or what.
Well, we don't know if we trust you. One eye on the pit babes, one eye on the screen, and well, but let's keep it at that. Well, we were stuck in the middle of a rundown just now, and we go into position number 11 again to tell you and to show you what's happening down there. And as we approach that, we see Ben Tusting up in 7, so that's the one stopper bonus he has. Coming from position number 22, this guy has secured 15 moves up, which is quite a fantastic feat. Well done, Ben.
Yes, it is. We have Andreas Hallgren at pit.
Ah, right. And in position number 11, we find the other Black Rebels player in the Yellow Rebels car. It's Chris Jacques, who really was one of the most unlucky guys at Trois-Rivières. He had a fantastic, really absolutely fantastic qualifying, and then he was caught in that first turn melee, and he had to yield position after position after position, and I think he was down in 22 or so after the second lap, and that was very sad to see.
And his car was very damaged, so he could not really recover.
Yep, really complained about dreadful handling afterwards. He's got a little dent on the right-hand side this time round as well, but he's racing in position number 11. Judging from 13, where he came from, he's up a little bit and should be fairly happy with the game tonight. Position number 12, then. It's none other than Wesley Hartog for the Flying Dutchman Racing. Another dent on the right-hand side. Seems to be all the rage here at Sugo to have a dented right-hand Doran. Dented right-hand Doran, how does that sound? Anyway, he's up on the start and finish straight now, going over the little bump and then going down again towards corner number 1. And he's following the other Flying Dutchman player, though. That is a lap down, or well, he is a lap down to the other Flying Dutchman player, to Yuri Braham, who is at this moment, I think, running in 6, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, here's Wesley Hartog in 12, approaching the S over the curves as everybody does, but not him. He's rather cautious. And David, what's going on with those pit babes? It's a light blue sky here. There's no sign of any thunderstorm coming. You should rather check the stream and not anything else.
Well, as you will understand, the cart, I was not looking at the sky right now.
No, not really, not really. Anyway, over to 13, and as we go there, it's Reggie Blaine recovering. Here's black and red and white Torrent Motorsports. Doran from the grass, a little bit of a visit there to the park by him. Reggie, yes please.
I have some interesting information, and well, not right now, but a lap ago it really looked like Peter was recovering some time on Robin. He recovered half a second more or less, but it's lost again. Rami's really losing time with Robin. He was 6 seconds and a half, and now he's 10 seconds and a half.
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. In about, I would say, 7 or 8 laps, that is really about half a second every lap.
Yeah.
None of that matters much to Reggie Blaine in 13. He was in 10. And these guys did the qualifying at the very last minute. Torrent did. I had already written down the qualifying results because I thought they had been maybe booked for the last lap because of some infringement I wasn't aware of. But then they went out and they just finished as the clock was approaching the 0. They just finished their laps and they came in 10 and 16. So that was their strategy, waiting for the very, very last moment. I think it was just a gamble that maybe if the rain died down a little, maybe if conditions would be a bit better, because it was really raining very, very heavily in qualifying. But I don't know if the gamble paid off or not. 10 or 16, not bad positions, but obviously also not exactly very, very good positions for Torrent Motorsports. Right now they are at 13 for Reggie Blaine, and let's see where the other player is. We go to 14. And in 14 find Andreas Hultgreen in the black incarnation of this year's Black Rebel Doran. And quite possibly he will be with you on the mic for the next game, because it'll be me somewhere in the back of the grid at Bahrain again. And David, any chance of seeing you in the STC this season? You were still on the grid 2 or 3 seasons ago, weren't you?
Yes, of course. I used to race every season if I can, 1 or 2 races. But we didn't expect to have many drivers in the team for the season this year. But it is exactly the opposite now. We have a lot of drivers interested on racing STC. It looks like they like the car and they enjoy driving it. And these are really good news for the team. So if this is the reason why I am off the track, I am quite pleased.
Ah, okay. That's what I call a team player par excellence.
Yeah.
Well then, position 14, Andreas Hultgreen. Let's see who is in 15. It's David Clark, who at this point is off a little, and he does have a severely beaten up front left there. Must have had some huge contact, and he has serious trouble going into turns that are left-handed turns, so his steering must be quite off. David Clark for the Gameracer FlatOut Club, the junior team, who have Ben Tusting pretty much up in the standings, somewhere in 7 or 8. And David Clark in 15, he came from 20, so he's up 5 positions as well. Should be happy with that result. And also I can see that his rear wing is a bit twisted on the left-hand side. That is quite an unusual bit of damage. Going down to 16, we find Ethan Bass of the Torrent Motorsports, second of their players, but they're both still in the game, which is good news for Torrent. And Ethan Bass on the grid, he was last actually. No, sorry, he was in 16. He was one of the guys who qualified late, as I told you. He was in 16, so he is now in 16. Must feel like home for him. Then to 17. My teammate Mikael Larsson, he must be rather disappointed with the game so far. He was in 5th last time round. We didn't have much time to train, he told us on the forum. Lots of real life happening at the moment. And the one thing that speaks to his credit is that blue flag racer Doran still looks absolutely spick and span marvelous. So he carried it through all the laps here in very, very good condition. Right now he lets one of the faster guys lap him, one of the Flying Dutchman players. He's off the track a little, but he's back on. And I think he is the last guy on the grid. Half a second, David?
Yes, Peter has recovered a lot. He's now 3 seconds far from Robin. So it will be a quite interesting final part of the race.
Yep. we'll definitely move there, as we're now in position 18 with the sole remaining Chorus Online player, Marco Giglio. And he must have serious trouble with the car, one way or the other, because we saw him off twice. It looks as if he's chosen the utterly wrong tires somewhere along the line. He was on the grass once, he was on the grass twice. He's back now to normal as he approaches Horseback Corner. And so Chorus Online, I'm afraid, and look at that, he really has trouble just getting the car into the turn. So I think he would be well advised to visit the pits rather quickly. Something's awfully wrong with either the setup or maybe the suspension or the tires. Don't know which it is. And that is the last man standing, last car still running. So it's 18 players, 4 had to leave the game, but it's 18 still on the grid. And back to the front we go. So I suppose Jose has moved the cameras to front position to Robin Johansson, still leading the race here, and with something like, I don't know what, 15 minutes or 10 minutes to go, he may be all set for the first Gubbklubben victory of the season. Did they score a victory last season, David? I seem to remember that, yes, they were on top of the podium once, weren't they?
Yes, of course. Last season they were the other team taking a podium, a part of FlatOut and RPM, if I am right.
Yeah. I think they won one or maybe even 2 races, but I'm not quite sure. I think they won 1 race. Anyway, so it would be the second time round for Gubbklubben, and Robin Johansson is still going strong here. However, let's see, Duivelaar was a bit faster as the tires wore off last time, and it may just happen again. And David, seriously, where's that rain you were talking about?
Well,
thunderstorm even.
Yeah, I don't know, Eckhart. I really don't know where it is. But who cares? I mean, I am with 10 or 11 pit waves here around.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Who cares about the rain?
Spare us the details. Spare us the details.
Well, I have seen a very slow car on the track, Eckhart. I'm checking who it was.
Thank you very much indeed.
Not sure. Looks like it was a lapped car, letting the others go.
I've just pointed my cameraman, Jose, to Kelvin van der Linde. Yes, him again. Bit of a man of the race, really, because he's still fighting. He's still slugging it out with Adam Shaw. And at this point in the race, he is clearly, very clearly indeed, the faster guy of the two. And as we see them going into Horseback Corner, we see that Shaw has some serious problems with his ride, and we see Linde trying to make an attack here. And now going on the inside, and very close indeed to Adam Shaw, pulling back a little now. But trust me, as they go into the start and finish straight, we will definitely see an attack by Kelvin van der Linde, heading out of that 110-hour turn there. That was too far away by far. So it may be that we see another instance of, yes, I'm the fast guy in the turns, and nope, I'm the fast guy on the straight.
I'm checking the gap between them. 2 seconds and half far, Peter from Robin, and 12 minutes to go, Eckhart.
12 minutes to go. I was just going to ask, how do you know that? I was just going to ask how much time we still have on the clock. So 12 minutes to go, 2.5 seconds. Looks like we're in for a nice fight towards the end. But at this point, this is where the action is. Kelvin van der Linde trying to catch Adam Shaw here at Sugo, at damp Sugo, but no longer rainy Sugo. Sun is out. And Kelvin has had a rather unstable ride through the whole of the race, but it doesn't seem to influence him very much indeed. He's still amazingly fast here, following none less than Adam Shaw. And we may see a move made by him in one of the next laps. Risto just tells me there's another big fight just behind these two. This is for 9 and 10, but also for 11 and 12. It's Chris Jacques and being attacked by Wesley Hartog, and we'll go there any moment once they're really close together. But let's stay with Shaw and van der Linde for the time being, because that is close racing indeed. And right now Shaw has made just a little mistake, and that has brought van der Linde very close indeed for that final turn, but now he's run just a little wide, and yeah, it might just be a different line. He's flying there through the turn, and he is in the slipstream now, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. And look at that, Adam Shaw already making a defensive maneuver as they approach corner number 1.
Okay, Wesley Hartog overtook Kilijak as it was expected. Well, it was expected. There was a tire condition difference between them.
So Hartog on a 2-stopper and Jacques on a 1-stopper.
Yes, he's back on position 12.
And he will maybe catch these two, because I think they are losing time because they're battle, and he's very close.
Yes, but Wesley Hartog is really far away from them. Oh, look at this. Now it's Kelvin is making the move.
Yeah, Kelvin is making the move, and Adam Shaw defending, and Kelvin, oops, little touch there. And yes, he's making it stick. He's definitely making it stick. And we have Tyler Scurlock coming up to lap the 2, which is of course an interesting situation, because he's the teammate of one of the two involved in this fight. And Kelvin made it stick. That was a great move there, going into horseback corner. Sorry, I was on my screen, I was someplace else in the grid. And so I just came back as he had passed, so I was not really commenting on it. And Kelvin van der Linde now in the top 10. And this is exactly, that's what I was checking, because Ben Tusting is still in the top 10, so he is up for the best result, really, of all the players here, as far as moving up the grid is concerned. And now Adam Shaw has to go off the track a little to let Tyler Scurlock pass. I don't know, I didn't see any touch there. David, did you see Scurlock unfortunately touch Shaw as he tried to overtake? I don't think so.
Not really, no.
It was just Shaw getting out of the way and overdoing it a little. And they're now approaching another bunch of people that are already left. It's Andreas Hultgreen and it's Marco Giglio. And since the race is only 9 minutes or 8 minutes or so to go, we're moving back up the grid, back to the top of the field to see what Peter Duivelaar is up to in these last laps and to see whether he can actually catch up with the race leader, with Robin Johansson. And at least on my screen he is getting very close indeed, but my prediction, he won't be able to make it close enough.
Oh, this is a no rest race for Robin Eckert.
Yep. Well, no rest for the wicked, as they say.
Yeah. I would say this is less than a second gap between them right now. I would confirm. Well, no.
Thank you very much.
More or less 1 second 8, 1 second 9, and 6 minutes to go.
That is not very much. 1.8, 6 minutes. That's just one wee tiny little bit mistake by Mr. Johansson, and he will have Peter Duivelaar all over his back. And judging from the lines, I think that Duivelaar is really pushing a lot to get closer. So he's not content with the many points that RPM is winning here for being in position number 2 and 3. He is definitely going in for the overall victory of the race.
Yeah, considering the driver that is following him is Rami. Even if he makes a big mistake, the points will be the same. So I think it's because that he can risk, really.
Yep, he can. Well, he can take it easy, obviously, because tires will be shot by now. Track's still damp. It's a difficult track in the first place. But yes, he can really go full out. And unless he damages the car completely, if he does have a spin or anything, it will be just Rami recovering second position. So what the heck?
Exactly. I think they are closer now.
1.5 seconds.
So that's 0.3 in 1 lap. We still have 5 minutes. That means we still have 3 laps. That is 0.9. That would take him within something like 0.4. So very close, but my prediction is he's not going to be able to make it. Because I have looked at Robin's lines these last lap, and very clean indeed, I must say. Very clean indeed.
Yeah, but Peter is getting very close.
He is getting very close. It's in the section now where the Roaring Pipes Maniac's car is much better. But
yeah.
Watch how Johansson will now pull away onto the straight. But there is heavy traffic in front of them, so that might play into Peter's hands.
Yeah, it depends on what part of the track they collide with the traffic, Eckert, because if you get the traffic on the straight, it's okay, but if you get the traffic on the corners, you will lose many time.
Definitely. And we can see Peter fighting here. Yes, Jose.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that they are now in psychological distance now.
Yes.
Yep. And we've seen this so many times before, haven't we? That the guy following, that the guy catching up is psychologically in such a good position. And look at that, he is way faster on the straight even. Where has that Johansson speed on the straight gone? It's evaporated, it's gone, and ow, they're really close now. I tell you what, Robin Johansson is having a serious trouble with fuel.
Really?
Well, it looks like it, because if he's not going full throttle on the straight, there can only be one reason for it, can't there?
Yeah, you're right.
And so that looks to me like a driver who's desperately trying to save fuel. And we said earlier that he had a different fuel strategy because he had a different pit strategy. And it might be that he miscalculated by 1 lap.
Oof. And they are with all the traffic. Chris Jack in front of Robin.
Yeah, Chris Jack in front, but he's giving way, and then one. Oh, and Duivelaar is running wide for no reason whatsoever.
Oh.
But there was one reason. Could have been there was a course online player who was lagging for a wee minute. I just saw the car stalled. That was Marco Giglio. There must have been some problem with the line, and I just saw him stalled for a 1/10 of a second, and it might be that influenced Peter, that he saw that car and thought he was going to crash into it. And so Duivelaar now is down something like a second or so to Robin Johansson.
Guys, Robin passed through the start-finish line with 1 second and more or less 21 seconds to go, so it could be the final lap of the race.
Okay. And Duivelaar is pushing for all it's worth. He is sideways into almost every turn. He's doing whatever he can to catch up after that little misjudgment there. And he is catching up very fast indeed. Johansson must indeed be saving fuel here.
The gap is 1.5 seconds still, so, but only 30 seconds to go. It will depend if we have an extra lap or not to let Peter catch him.
Yeah, it could be absolutely deadly for Robin if we have an extra lap, and if he's already very short on fuel, then that extra lap could really cost him dearly.
Yeah. 15 seconds to go.
Yes, we will have an extra lap. We will have an extra lap.
It will be very close, Eckhart. It will be very close. I am not sure.
Yes, they have to go all the way up and then down
1,
again.
Time is gone. It is final lap. Okay, Robin took the win.
There he is. Yes, Robin Johansson scored the win. Very, 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 very close indeed. If indeed his fuel was running short, then he must be the happiest guy on the whole grid now. Well, he's happy anyway because he's won the race. And Duivelaar making that one little mistake there, maybe influenced by a lagging car. And Kaukola is in third, and Tyler Scurlock. A solid and uneventful race by him. He is in fourth. So almost as good as in the last game. And Yuri Braham, another totally, at least from what we have seen, totally uneventful race, but still bringing home a massive amount of points for the Flying Dutchman Racing in position number 5.
It has been not the best race for the FlatOut Racing guys.
Not at all. Not at all. They're not in the top 5. That will cost them dearly. So, sorry, FlatOut guys, that wasn't exactly your track or your day today. Risto Kappet is their fastest player, and he's in 6th. He's actually being attacked by, by Ben Tusting in 7. Our man of the race, Ben Tusting, bringing it home here. Of course, obviously not overtaking a FlatOut racer in front. And Risto in 6, Ben in 7. And that leaves us with only Bosse Johansson still in race. He is in position number 8. And yes, Marco Giglio in, I think, position number 18, but lapped already. Also still in the race. And Johansson is going very slowly indeed. What is this? Oh, they're already a lap down, and that's the computer putting them into the pit. So, race is finished. I think I shall say time for the anthem. And with me now in the broadcast room are the three top finishers, Robin Johansson, Peter Duivelaar and Rami Kaukola. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, Robin Johansson, you scored the victory today. A quick comment from you on the race.
Finally. And it's so hard. I'm bloody sweaty like hell.
You certainly do. And Peter put just a huge amount of pressure on you in the last stint, didn't he?
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, but it's fun for us. And what did you do
No.
with the strategy on the pits? You came in the same time and then you left so much earlier. Did you start with a lot of fuel on board?
No. I don't know what happened, but he lost 4 seconds.
Yeah, we must ask Peter. Peter, what happened second pit stop? You lost 4 seconds.
Yeah, for some reason my engine stalled. I have no idea why it happened, but yeah.
I thanks for that.
It was probably one of your spies making the engine stall.
Yes.
Kent Caroline or someone. Anyway, Peter, you did a great race too, coming from position number 3 on the grid. It was fairly obvious that Rami was in serious trouble, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he had some problems maybe with his tires, especially under the wet circumstances. So yeah, but maybe we should have paid a bit more attention to training under wet circumstances. But overall, I'm happy with the result. Second and third
It's
place
perfect.
is a good result.
Yep, definitely. And you did a great race, and you went wide in the second to last lap. Can you explain what happened there?
Well, I need to check the replay first, but one of the back markers slowed down a bit to let Robin pass. But I think he just didn't slow down enough for the corner that was coming, so I had the feeling I couldn't get the apex anymore, so I went wide on the grass.
Okay, the way, yeah, I saw that scene too, and to me it seemed also that, I think it was a Chorus Online player, it was lagging a little, so that may have also influenced you.
Yes.
Right, and Rami Kaukola, we saw a great race again by you, but you couldn't make it stick this time, couldn't you?
No, the wet track got me this time, and after my second pits I struggling even more, so it was a hard race, but I'm happy for third place.
You secured many points, and the Gameracer FlatOut are in position number 6 and I think 9, so you should advance quite a lot.
Yes, that's good for the team. Yes.
It definitely is. Any thoughts about the upcoming race at Bahrain? Do we know already who will be playing for Roaring Pipes Maniacs at Bahrain?
Not yet.
Keeping it a secret. Okay. Well then, folks, it's been an enjoyable race at a difficult track in Sugo. And thank you very much for the interview after the race. Congratulations again to all three of you, and good luck with the next races.
Thank you, Eckhart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
Well, David, hearing your voice, your thoughts and comments on this race here at Sugo.
Well, again, it was a very interesting race, Eckhart. A track that all the drivers seems to hate, but that always brings...
No, I love it.
Well, anyway, it always brings cool racing. It was a very interesting final stage of the race, and well, I have to congratulate the drivers again for the start. It was very clean, it was fantastic. They did a great job.
All right, and then over to Jose. Final thoughts from you, but also looking ahead to Bahrain. What do you expect there?
Well, I expect a dry race, even if we have one wet race there. But somebody said that his brother was in Bahrain the week before and was raining, so it's not true that it never rains in Bahrain. But I suppose it will be a dry race with quite good overtaking opportunities, as it's a Formula 1 track, and you know how they are, long straights and very
wide turns.
Exactly. So let's see.
Okay, well that sums up this round's. Let's round up then the broadcast. This is Eckert von Glan, your friendly voice, saying goodbye and good night to you. I hope that this time we can work out something about the replay of the broadcast and also about the missing replay of Trois Rivières. Stay tuned, guys. It may still appear. So see you all at Bahrain with Andreas Hultgreen in the booth next week. Until then, bye-bye.